Hey guys, it's Rachel Rivera. Today is day 8 of the 30-day video challenge, and today's topic is, what are your top 3 values in life, and have they changed over time? Well, actually, yeah, because when I was younger, my values were a little different. My values were growing up as fast as I could, being independent as fast as I could, moving out, getting married, just, having a family of my own. And then as I got older, I did all that, and I opened my business. I became very independent. And as I got older, I moved here to the United States, and my family was still in Europe, or most of them is still in Europe at the time. And then I realized that my one of my top values is my family. My immediate family, meaning my fur babies. This is Isabella. So my immediate family, my babies, and my husband. But my family, immediate family as well, like my mom, my dad, my sisters, my brother, my husband's mom and dad. And us living so far here in California. And I have my sister and my brother who live in Austria. And then my other sister who lives in Italy. And my parents moved to Florida about a year ago. I kind of feel like I miss them a lot. I miss them already. I've been here in the States for 16 years. So I've been away from my family for about 16 years, obviously visiting. But, I realize, every morning I wake up and I go, first thing I do is go on WhatsApp. And we have like a family channel. And my dad, says good morning. It's like 3 something in the morning for over there. They're 3 hours ahead. So it's 3 o'clock in the morning when he's leaving this message for me. I'm still sleeping. And so, he's telling us what they're doing. They're making breakfast. They're going for their walk. Then my sisters and brothers chime in. I feel like I'm there, but I'm not. And I really miss them. So my first values now are my family. Before it wasn't my family. It was my family, but when you're younger, it's you. You become very selfish. You want to move out. You want to do your own thing. And then once you do your own thing, you're like, wait a minute, this is not cool. You're all grown up and you're like, wait, there's too many responsibilities. I don't want to do my own thing. I want to be with my family. So my goal and my aim in the next few years is to be closer to my family. Second value is my health. And reason being is, when you're younger, you think you're invincible. You think, oh, that's not going to happen to me. You smoke cigarettes, you drink, or at least I did. You're partying, you're doing this, you're staying up late. You're abusing your body when you're young because you heal quicker. And if you get injured, you can lose weight, gain weight, go up and down. Just, do all those things. And you don't think in the future that anything's going to happen to you, because you think, well, I'll just quit and then I'll be fine. Or I'll just stop doing this and I'll be fine. And you don't realize the abuse your body takes over time. And I found that out the hard way 2 years ago when I got really sick and I ended up in the emergency room a couple times. And so my health, I truly, truly value my health and my life. Meaning, before it was like, if I die, when I used to smoke, you got to die sooner or later. That's every smoker's, favorite phrase. Oh, you got to die sooner or later when people tell you to quit smoking. And that's what I used to say years ago. And then, well, I'm glad I quit 13, 14 years ago, but in the meantime, I used to say that. And then when I was in the hospital 2 years ago, in excruciating pain, I'm like, oh, hell no, I don't want to ever be in this hospital again. I don't want to live that ever again. So that pain made me think of, wow, what if there's worse pain? Or what if people that are even sicker than me, what kind of pain are they going through? So hoping that I'm not too late, I don't think I am. Your body is an amazing piece of machine where it could heal itself from the inside out if you give it the right tools to do so. So I do value my health, the health of my dogs, health of my husband, and my family. And the third thing that I value, is my freedom. Freedom to be able to have good health and be with my family. So it all ties in. When you own and run your own business, a brick and mortar business, in the beginning, you're kind of married to the business. You can't go anywhere, or at least we can't, because we run a private fitness studio. So it's mostly personal training. And don't get me wrong, I love my business. I love my clients. I love you guys. But sometimes I need a little break from you guys. I need a little break from the business, so taking time off sometimes is a little harder than if you, worked, I don't want to say worked for someone, but at least you get time off and you get paid. Or if you have an online business, which is what I'm trying to create, and I'm doing, very nicely, thank you very much. But, when you create an online business where you can leverage your time and you can do everything online, you can pretty much work wherever you want, whenever you want. So for me, freedom is the number 3 thing that I now value because, at first I didn't care. I was like, my dad was in the military, so we kind of moved every 3 to 4 years because the military would move us, Germany, Italy, back to Germany, back to Italy, all over Europe. And I kind of said, when I grow up, I want to have roots. I don't want to ever move. I want to stay where I'm at. I don't like change. And now that I've been, rooted here for, years, I'm like, well, I'm getting a little older. I want to be with my family. I want to have the freedom to travel a little bit. I want to, I want to change a little bit. I'm not getting bored by all means, but I want to have that freedom to travel if I want, or to go somewhere, or stay somewhere, or whatever. So freedom is very important, especially when you get to a certain age. You're like, you don't want to be stuck where you can't do anything. So the freedom to travel, the freedom to be with your family, the financial freedom to be able to, if you want to travel, spend the money and have the money to spend, and not always have that stress to worry, because when you stress, you get sick and your health goes out the window. When you get sick, you're stressing. So it's just like a dog chasing its own tail. So try to find, if, with my advice for myself, I'm looking for, and I'm trying to set up within the next couple years, an early retirement for myself and my husband, where we can travel and work online and be close to my family. And if I want to go to Austria and visit my sister and my brother, I can do that. If I want to go to Florida, I can do that, stay for a couple of weeks or a month or whatever. So those are my right now, my 3 top values in my life. And so basically, I want to know what your guys' values are. What do you guys value in life? I mean, I'm sure family and health, almost everybody's got that, but what are your top 3? Post in the comments, and that's it. So peace out, guys. Thanks for following.